The narcissist's main goal in life, his whole driving force, is to feed his ego. A normal, healthy person can generate their own self-esteem, self-love, and self-worth, but remember, the narcissist has a false self. This false self cannot do anything without validation from outside sources. They depend on other people for validation. They need it in the same way you and I need oxygen. The narcissist both needs people, and at the same time, he hates that he's so dependent on other people. He can't exist on his own. He can form his own opinions of himself, but he needs those opinions to be confirmed and validated. He's constantly struggling with this. He hates when other people experience happiness on their own. He hates seeing people happy in their life, who seem independent, who don't need fans or worshippers, who have genuine friendships and relationships. The narcissists experience cognitive dissonance, which is having contradictory thoughts on the same topic. He sees these happy, well-adjusted people and he thinks it's ridiculous. How can people go about their daily life pretending to be content? How can people just wake up to their boring partner? How can they go to work every day, see the same friends, do the same activities, and be actually happy? Remember, narcissists have grandiose fantasies about themselves. Normal life sounds awful. They crave excitement and they crave new things. They feel that they're above normal people and they deserve great and special treatment. Deep down, they wish they could be happy with normalcy, but since they're unable to achieve it, they'll put it down. The narcissist will convince himself over and over again that normal life is beneath him. The Fox and the Grapes is one of Aesop's fables that best illustrates this concept of cognitive dissonance. A fox is in the forest. He sees a bunch of grapes on a vine. He really wants them, but he can't reach them. No matter how hard he tries, he just cannot reach them. So he convinces himself that they're probably sour anyway and he doesn't want them. This is exactly what the narcissist does with happiness. He sees it, but he knows it's unattainable for him, so he finds some way to justify his situation. This particular video is going to have a lot of personal experiences in it. As I said from one of my last videos, if I feel that anecdotes are necessary, I will throw them in. With that said, the narcissist cannot congratulate you or share in your happiness, but they expect to be doted on when they do even the smallest thing. Their energy is reserved for thinking about themselves. They can't spare any of it for anyone else. If you present good news to the narcissist, be prepared to have them find some way to put it down or completely disregard it. I had many accomplishments that I was very proud of, and my ex-boyfriend Robert never appeared to be happy for me. When I got a promotion and a raise at work, he said, "That's cool." And then in the same sentence, he would change it to a subject about something else, more often than not, something about himself. He gave me the impression that being happy for me was a chore and it took too much effort on his part. However, if my accomplishment sounded like something he could benefit from, he would ask me a ton of questions about it. I do a lot of freelance accounting for bars and rock venues, so when I would get a gig handling money for a show or an event at one of these places, immediately he would ask me if I could book his band at this establishment. That's the only time he ever seemed to have an interest in what I was doing, because narcissists are users. They will use you to get ahead in life. He would always try to go through me to get things for himself, and because of that, I just felt like my life was not as important as his. My mother did the same thing to me, so I really felt like I was back at home being ignored and put down all the time. And my mother would also ignore my accomplishments of mine. She would quickly change the subject, but like I said, there will be a whole playlist of videos on that topic alone. Back to my relationship. If Robert was not the center of attention, he wanted no part in it. He would only attend a concert if he could somehow be involved in it or use it to promote himself. The narcissist is unable to have fun like a normal person. Every single thing is about feeding the ego, so they can't waste precious energy on having fun. I took him to my best friend's wedding, and he sat awkwardly at the table the whole night. He didn't dance. He didn't have fun. He hardly talked to anyone. At one point, he just got up and took a walk by himself down the street. I found out later that the only reason he had gone was because his birthday was the following week. He had hoped to meet new people to get them to come to his birthday party. He was insulted when no one seemed to care about his birthday. He was insulted when he was told how inappropriate his behavior was, when all he would do was talk about his own birthday. It was very childish. And coming from a grown man, if you have no experience with narcissists, that behavior can come across as being very odd. He never cared about genuine friendships. He just cared about the head count. The more people, the better. With him, it was only about quantity, never quality, and this concept transferred to every aspect of his life. The narcissist, they not only hate ambient happiness, which I describe as just everyday people living their life, but they also hate other people's achievements, birthdays and holidays too. Referring back to my New Year's Day video, I said that narcissists love holidays. They do, in the sense that it gives them an excuse to reach out. But they hate them in a sense that it's a time of celebration, and they are unable to celebrate anything that does not center around themselves. Robert absolutely hated holidays and birthdays. Birthdays can be felt as a narcissistic injury. It means they're getting older, and they're not any closer to their goals and dreams of what they want to be, which is great and powerful. He hated his birthday and hated my birthday. As I said, he's a musician, so if he could play a show on his birthday where he was the center of attention, the center of focus, on stage in front of everyone, it was fine. In the 6 years I was with him, though, only a few of those birthdays he actually, scheduled a show. Most of the time he just sat home and sulked. We had an argument every Halloween, every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. He even said, "I'm in a bad mood. You should know how I get for holidays." He was well aware of how moody he was, and he didn't understand why. I had to practically walk on eggshells during the holiday season. It was very stressful. Anything I said would set him off. He had these grandiose fantasies and ideas of these giant parties where he was center of attention. One year on his birthday, he booked a show, and the crowd was great, the venue was busy. It was a really, really great time. When we got home, he was immediately depressed. He needed attention so badly that once we left the room full of people, it's like he couldn't just go home and think about what a nice time it was. He had to live it 24/7. One year at another show he had booked, I made him a birthday cake. I spent a lot of time making it. I made it his favorite color. I really wanted it to be special. When it came time to bring the cake out, he immediately got angry at me. He said the only reason I made the cake was to steal his spotlight, and that the cake was more about me, so I could steal his attention and have it for myself. I began to question my own motives. Maybe I really am a horrible person, and maybe I really am selfish, and maybe I really did want all the attention. But I realized that was crazy. His reaction to the birthday cake was so abnormal, and that's one of the things that made me question what kind of person I was with. Narcissists want to spoil and ruin any special moment. Not necessarily a special moment, but anyone's good mood. If anyone is feeling happy for whatever reason, the narcissist cannot stand this. If someone is feeling good, happy, beautiful, etc., if he's not in control of your moods, he'll make sure he is. If he can take away your good feeling, he's accomplished something. They want everyone to share in the misery and insecurity that they feel deep inside. He wants to reduce everyone to his level of anger and repressed emotion. The narcissist hates happy people because he's unable to be one. If you're in a good mood, he'll try to ruin it. He'll make a comment or an insult. He'll turn any subject into something negative. As long as he spreads the misery around, he's accomplished a goal. If he does make you happy, however, it's on his terms, so it's okay. If he's in control of your good mood, that's the only way it is acceptable.